What is the loudest, what is the most aggressive thing you can get happening? That's my world anyway. I can't speak for anybody else, but how I do it, it's always as loud as possible and as aggressive as possible, yeah.
Namm, day one, I'm with the great Todd Kerns. How's it going?
Good, day one.
Yeah.
We're fresh. Day two gets harder, day three is a write-off, yeah.
What's your main reason for being at Namm?
Well, usually to see everything. I've got a lot of people to see. My signature guitar is through a Canadian company called Prestige, so I'll be hanging out over there today. And then, everything else. It's just the greatest. It's like Disneyland here for musicians.
For adult musicians.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. For those of us in an arrested state of development, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, what are your plans for 2025 tour-wise?
Oh,
record-wise?
I've got all kinds of things coming. We got a new Slash record, SMKC record in the pipeline that hope to have it out by the end of the year. We'll see what happens. And then my other band, Took's, doing a bunch of stuff, and just keeping busy. All kinds of stuff on the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still in Canada?
Yeah, I'm based out of Las Vegas, but yeah, I am from Canada originally. Yeah.
What's your go-to recipe for your tone, your sound? Because we're all in search of the tone quest.
You know what? That quest never ends, and that's what today is about. It just continues. What is the loudest? What is the most aggressive thing you can get happening? That's my world anyway. I can't speak for anybody else, but how I do it, it's always as loud as possible and as aggressive as possible, yeah.
And I've got a question. On the SMKC records,
yeah.
When you're doing the backing vocals for Myles,
yeah.
And do you do the backing vocals on the records as well?
Oh yeah. I'm always ever since the beginnings, Myles would sing his parts, and then at first we kind of worked on the harmonies together, and eventually he just kind of like, you got this. So ever since World on Fire in 2014, I think it was, I start to lose track of when the years are, but Apocalyptic Love in 2011 we worked on together, and then after that he just sort of lets me do what I do. So to have that much confidence in what I do, because I could just as easily ruin everything, but he lets me do it. Yeah.
So do you sing in thirds above him, or is it like octaves?
It's a bit of everything. Generally try to get above him. Getting above him is no easy feat, so it's kind of it's usually
like on World on Fire.
World on Fire, I'm actually singing what do you call it, like a call and answer vocal with him, as well as the harmonies on that song. So it's definitely
when I listen to the record, I can't quite tell if it's like he's doubling his own voices at the same octave,
right,
or is it you doing a third higher?
Oh, it's always me on the harmonies, but there are a couple of occasions where Myles will sing something if he sort of has an idea of how it will go, or it's sort of very delicate. Sometimes I'll be like, you should sing that because it'll be locked tighter, but it's very rare. It's only a few songs that I couldn't even think of off the top of my head. Mostly it's just me screaming away in the background. Hopefully somewhere in the vicinity of the key, yeah.
So what's it like touring with the guys? Because I've actually met and interviewed both of them, Slash and Myles Kennedy. They're such lovely guys. Yeah. Myles is just like one of the nicest human beings I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not an act. They actually are both lovely guys. You just never know, because sometimes the public persona is that and the actual persona is something different. But no, he's always been, Slash has always been an incredibly good dude, very laid back. He's never told us what to wear. He's never told us what to play, within reason. If you're playing something in the wrong key or something, of course he'd have something to say about it. But he loves to let everybody just kind of do what they're going to do, and hopefully it brings it together. And Myles' reputation speaks for itself. He's a glowing individual. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like when you record albums, do you sort of like each come with demo ideas and then put them together, or do you start out by just jamming and see what comes?
We do jam, but most of the riffs obviously all come from Slash. Yeah. Slash is one of those guys where he shows up with 100 classic riffs, and you're like, what are you going to do? Throw in here's 1001 classic riffs. He's already got them. Every time he plays a riff, I go, well, there it is.
Yeah. And what about your bass work on that? How do you get around doing that?
Well, like again, it happens pretty fast for me because I'm one of those guys that has it sort of. I try to have it together during pre-production rehearsals, and then when we go in, it's just kind of like boom. You know, I try to like lock it up. I usually try and do it live with the drums if I can. It all depends on how we're doing things, but that has certainly been the case on most of the records actually live. But then every once in a while, sometimes it'll be. We'll record it after the fact, so it just depends on what's going on.
And do you record like the whole rhythm section live?
We try to. We have on several recordings we have done it that way, and kept. Apocalyptic Love was like that. World on Fire, we did a bunch of overdubbing just because it was like we wanted to do the drums in a certain place, then we moved to it was a lot of that kind of thing. But most of the time it's done pretty live, and like I said, my parts are usually worked out way in advance. So when I come in, it's kind of like boom, 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 boom.
Because you get sent the demos before, so you can work on them.
We usually sit in rehearsal for months, or at least weeks before we do a recording. So I'm usually pretty on top of what I'm going to do very quickly, and then after that, it's sort of like up to. 'Cause most of the time gets spent on the guitars and the vocals. So I'm just trying to get out of the way. I don't want to hold up production or anything.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Have fun in this insanity.
Yeah,
eventually your senses will be so overloaded you'll explode.